Welcome to the Alonzo Tucker Project. Today, we're going to have a brief overview on Mrs. Dennis. First, we must discuss the social relationship between a black man and a white woman of the late 1800s and early 1900s. Professor Anna Laura Stoller, a Wiley Brandt Distinguished University Professor of Anthropology and Historical Studies, has discussed this relationship during the Victorian era, which spans from 1837 to 1901, during which Tucker was alive. During this time, all it took for accusations upon a black man is for someone to think they looked the wrong way at a white woman. This held true for most non European populations. This article specifically references those of African and Asian descent. These alleged accusations did not stop with Alonzo Tucker. They have been recorded throughout modern history, such as in the 1960s with the false rape accusation of a black man in Alabama in To Kill a Mockingbird, and in the early 2000s where a woman overturned her car in a lake and left her two toddlers to drown, then telling media and officers that a black man had stolen her children, who are remembered in the poems of Brutal Imagination. Just to name a couple. White women accusing black men of alleged violence is not new, nor is it old, as it continues to happen. According to Andy Jensen, a retired California police sergeant, Mrs. Dennis was born Lizzie Gertrude Tripp on May 2, 1868, in Pennsylvania, and moved to Acme, Oregon, where she married Fred Nepper and had 4 children. At some point, she met Ben Dennis and took her 3 youngest and moved to Marshfield, Oregon, which is modern-day Coos Bay. Here, the lynching of Alonzo Tucker took place, at which Mrs. Dennis would have been 34 and Tucker 28 years old, in 1902. After the lynching, the Dennis family left town and moved to Eureka, California. On September 17, 1902, the alleged assault accusation occurred as Mrs. Dennis was returning to Libby, noting that this would have been a few miles for her to have had walked home. Mrs. Dennis was also recorded as highly esteemed for her pure womanhood. An interesting statement regarding the existence of her 2 husbands. And lastly, Mrs. Dennis is referred to under a few different names, usually the wife of Benjamin Dennis, but here, in a particular instance, the wife of James Dennis, considering the lack of trial, illegal murder of Alonzo Tucker, and relationship of a black man and a white woman, especially of the time. It is not justifiable to state that Tucker's accusation was legitimate. Thank you for joining the Alonzo Tucker Project, and check us out on Facebook.